Hello, Mariah and other people. I just want to make a very quick video. I want to talk about B12 because this is extremely essential for the body. Are you taking B12? And which form do you use? And I want to hear some other people, whoever sees this video, please comment and let me know what you think about the different types of B12. I am taking cyanocobalamin right now, which is a synthetic form of B12. It's the cheapest one. The store we go to didn't have any other form, and I didn't have any other knowledge about it anyway. And then after I bought it, I read on the internet that there are several different forms of B12. There's also hydroxycobalamin, which is the natural form produced by bacteria, which I find better, and I'm going to buy it when we go back to the other house. And I'm also going to buy the sodium bentonite in capsules for Kenny and Paul, because they can't take it in the loose powder. So anyone can also buy the capsules, but it is better to take the sodium bentonite in powder form and mix that with water, because I read on the internet that the potency of it is enhanced, and it works kind of like one organism. If it gets hydrated, and it becomes some kind of like a pudding substance, like a pudding, for example. You know, when it gets harder on the air, it functions like one thing. You know, if you turn this over and it comes out of the form, it's like one thing, and so it becomes one body, you know. And sodium bentonite clay also becomes one body, and it works more potently that way. That's what I read, that's what people reported. So it's very important. And it's important to supply the body with calcium. It's critical which form of calcium. Donna Peston recommends calcium citrate. I personally take the calcium in form of white kaolin clay. It worked for me very well. So I am also testing on myself, basically, you know. I'm my own guinea pig. Better to use a human guinea pig than a real guinea pig. Leave the real guinea pigs in South America, in their tunnels and in their caves and in their underground homes. So that's where they want to be. And yeah, and the ones that are domesticated, give them a lot of space so that they can roam around in the house. So that's very important. And give them infinite love. I can't stress that often enough. So all the domestic animals that are already living in homes, they cannot be released back into the desert in South America, obviously. They wouldn't make it. But when you have them at home, give them infinite love, and when they have that and freedom to roam and explore your house and all of that, then they really have it the best of all. And test on humans and nothing else. So anyway, B12 is the most essential vitamin there is, I believe, because it protects the nervous system and it makes you feel a whole lot better. Cyanocobalamin works for me right now. I don't know what it will do in the long term if I take this over several years. I really don't want to do this, because any kind of chemical that was produced unnaturally, synthetically in a laboratory, I don't really trust so much. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe there are some molecules that will be safe, but you never know. But the general rule of thumb is I personally, that's what I personally go by. I prefer anything that is made in nature over anything synthetic. So hydroxycobalamin I find more appealing. Donna Pessin recommends methylcobalamin, which is also, I think, a natural form of B12. And I think what happens in the body, hydroxycobalamin will get broken down into methylcobalamin. But I think we should not, that's just my personal guess. I'm not a chemist or I'm not a biologist, but just I just have this instinct that it's probably better that the body is not supplied with things that are already pre-broken down or pre-digested, because the body should learn how to convert these types of chemicals the way it is supposed to do it in nature. So it's in nature, it's not given all of these chemicals already broken down or pre-digested usually. So I think it's better that the body learns and does it by itself, except what she's talking about when she's talking about these things, the first 3 years of real intensive healing, she's talking about people who are very severely ill. So for people who are really severely ill and who have real severely damaged bowels, for those people, maybe methylcobalamin is the better form, because they may not even be able at the point in time of their illness to break any other more complex form of B vitamin down into its final components, which are active and are causing, the positive chain reactions, the domino effects in the nervous system and in the production of serotonin and other pain-killing and balancing substances that the system has to have. So, and this is just one example of many, many, many other different enzymatic and chain reactive domino effects that are happening in the body with all kinds of things. So, I mean, the body is a very, very complex organism, to say the least. I mean, it is absolutely amazing what the body does, and also like blood tests, for example. That's why when we get blood tests, they're often misleading when they say, "Oh, they're normal." And that's what she's talking about in her book, and I had no idea about this. This is very informative. This is life-saving, these books. She has really done amazing work. I've never seen anyone do that amazing work. That is, and particularly with that emphasis on the clay, drawing out the acids, toxins, and metals, which is just, this is like the major cleanup work that has to be done before people start any kind of chelation therapy, because you don't go with a hand shovel and a hand broom into a house that has old furniture in it that are moldy, and she uses this metaphor of cleaning out a house or remodeling a house, which is a very good metaphor to use, because it makes it very understandable how this is translated into cleaning up our own systems. Because when there is major damage and when there's major animal sludge in the intestines that have putrefied and have started to cause necrosis in the intestines, and I know somebody who had part of her colon removed, a lady from Australia who had basically lived on steak. And so there's just no surprise, that this is what causes it. If you don't eat fiber, how is this animal sludge going to be transported out? So the more fiber and raw you eat, the healthier you will be. I mean, it is so obvious, and we see these people on the internet, like Freely and the couple in South America, Raw Food World, and Victoria Everett, and all of these amazing people who have reported what the raw plant, fresh plant, vegan food does for the system. They all have shed all of their excess weight. And then Angela Stoke, she has lost, I think, 80 pounds or something very, very, very excess weight. And she was very heavily overweight. I think she was like 300 pounds at some point, and she lost all of that weight. No, I think she lost 150 pounds, something like that. It's dramatic, absolutely dramatic. Look it up for yourself. I have been reading about this a couple of years ago, so I don't know if I have the exact numbers, but look it up for yourself. But it was a very dramatic weight loss, and Victoria Everett also had a dramatic weight loss, and then some other people as well. And it's just not only about the weight loss, it's about cleaning out the colon and making your body function again the way it's supposed to function. And then all of these illnesses fall away naturally. It's just a natural process, and I'm super excited about it. And while you're healing, you need, as what Donna Pessin calls, crutches. Those are healing crutches, but they're helping you to heal, because it's a transitional phase, and this healing program has to be customized towards every individual, because everybody is coming from a different living situation. So some people start out as already being vegetarian, some people start as being vegan, and some people start as meat eaters, and some people start as heavy drug addicts, and so on. So the approach is not the same for every person in the very beginning, because you have to start where you are. You can't be skipping steps. So when you're very, very sick, or if you have the C word, and I don't like to use that word, or people who are just extremely toxic and overloaded with stuff and have necrotic colons and so on, then they have to start on a completely different level as somebody who's already a vegan and starting to do the bentonite clay from then on. So it is very critical, but during this healing process, it is very important to take vitamin B12. Normally, a healthy organism, as Donna Pessin points out, is producing all of these vitamins by itself. It knows how to produce this. Every animal produces these vitamins. And so, and I heard that animals like dogs, they produce vitamin C. People, I don't think we can produce vitamin C. We have to ingest the vitamin C from plants. But a lot of these vitamins are actually produced by the animal, the person, the animal person, the human person, so because we have very amazing complex organisms. And when people are sick, their bodies are very intelligent. They know how to protect themselves, and then you will have a good blood outcome. But it's misleading, because like when the blood levels are regarded as normal, it could be misleading because the body has made it that way by using something else in the system in order to protect the more sensitive organs from an acid overload, by storing away acids and then storing them in fat, muscle, and other organs, which in turn will have a long-term negative effect. And that's why some people, that's why a lot of people break down, their bodies break down around the age of 65, because that's when all of these other natural healing instances and resources, they are all used up by the body finally, and the body is at its wits' ends, so to speak. And then then all these things start crumbling down, and then it's often too late for people. They're often already dying and so on, and they don't know what to do, and they don't know how to heal it, and most physicians just don't have that knowledge. And so the people who have really dug into healing the body, not just covering up symptoms, those are the naturopaths. Those are the ones that the medical establishment is against, because the naturopaths they want the body to heal by itself naturally, so that it doesn't need these crutches anymore. But people make money on these medical crutches, medication, pharma medication, which makes people really sick in the long run. So that's why the medical establishment is so mad and angry and against anything that has to do with natural healing, because they are profiting from sick people. They try to scrape every penny out of people as they can, and that's why they're not even for euthanasia and all of these things, because when a patient is put out of its misery, then they cannot make money on that person anymore, right? So and they use, of course, they use religions then to sanction their, or to use that, they use religion as arguments often, and they'll get real furious. So you see how everything is very complex and very interconnected, and we have a network of a system to deal with right now, politically, sociologically, psychologically, and physiologically. So everything is, that's why there is this incredible resistance. It's because of greed and also ego, okay? But they go hand in hand often. And the few people who are really trying to help and make this world a better place and really help people and really heal humans, as Donna Pessin, humans and also the animals that live with us. She wants to heal them too, and the whole planet. That's why people like her have it extra hard. We really walk against this establishment, this incredible resistance, this thousands of year old resistance of greed and ego and all of these isms and so on. So it's very difficult, very, very difficult. There's a lot of resistance and a lot of fearful people who have latched onto the bandwagon of this resistance establishment, and they, out of fear, just, they don't know better. They think they go to hell if they ingest something natural, and this is how far they have gone. They have used religion to get by with their extreme exploitation, and they have manipulated people to the fullest extent. So we need to break away from this, and we need to listen to nature again, and to ourselves, to our own bodies, what our own bodies have to say to us, and not be so quick to come to conclusions about causalities. That's what she also is pointing out in her book. Not be so quick to say, because now I have these side effects or these withdrawal symptoms or whatever, it must be her products, or it must be that they have strayed away from their old destructive habits or something. And then they conclude, they're very fast to conclude to say, oh, I better go back to my destructive habits because I felt better while I was doing it. That's not how it works, okay? It works by very gradually, and we can heal without withdrawal symptoms. We can heal our bodies without this horrible detox crisis that so many people take for granted. So we can do it. And that's why these approaches have to be customized towards every single individual, and we have to go slow. And so in general, this healing process takes about 3 years, and then the bowels have rebuilt their natural probiotic good bacteria environment, and it's something like 200 trillion good bacteria that we should have in our colons, and most people only have a tiny fraction of this, and that's why they are not resistant towards illnesses and infections and allergies and so on. So this is where all of this is coming from, all of that misery, including the C word. So it's very important that people read her books. So you guys take care. Bye.